Curly girls. Well, there's a lot of variations of curl, isn't there? We go from our very tight, kinkier base. We go to our loose. Sometimes we need to even encourage that base. But there is one common challenge, and that's frizz. Welcome to Surface Curls. My name is Wayne Grund, Surface founder. Today we'll share with you learning in 2 points. The first segment here will be face-to-face. It'll be me interacting with curly hair and the curly products, so you really see their use. And then we're going to go into a more technical explanation of everything in a slide presentation. Ultimately, I hope that you all challenge yourself to the Curl Certification Program for stylists, and also to be able to attend one of our hands-on curl certification programs that involves the cutting of curls. So let's start with, first of all, the key to curly hair is to eliminate frizz. Now, I'll give you a little overview in the beginning of it. What is frizz? So if you have a hair shaft and it is a straight hair, so imagine this, the actual hair shaft being straight, there's structural bonds that run horizontally that hold that hair together in the protein fiber. Light hits it, it's shiny, the cuticle is compact, it holds color with it. Now, as that hair curls, where it bends, that structural bond now is stretched. The bond is on the inside. The stretch on that bond causes the cuticle to raise, and that's what frizz is. The tighter the curl, the more stretch you have on the structural bond, and the more frizz that there can be. And what that frizz is the stress that's on the bond raising the cuticle, and that's where you lose moisture. That's where color fades from. So the first thing we note at Surface Curls is we work inside the hair to strengthen the structural bond with vitamin K that we derive from cacao butter. And yes, anybody who's already used it goes, it smells amazing. Well, please let me share with you what that smell is. It's certified organic cocoa butter, and it's vitamin K that works inside the hair to hold it together. The way that we get it in there was the certified organic babassu oil. The babassu oil is an organic penetrating oil, and it penetrates the hair shaft, taking in the vitamin K. It also carries with it tremendous moisturizing benefits. It also carries with it amaranth protein, which is a flexible protein. In today's day and age, there's been many advancements since the curly care products that were derived in the 1990s and early 2000s. One of them being protein. People were scared of protein in curly hair because it could possibly dry it out. The protein that Surface uses provides flex to the protein so it can strengthen the hair without drying it out. The other thing I want to identify is the challenge of silicones. In the 1990s and early 2000s, that science was 100% correct because the cones is better termed, the cone family being dimethicone, siloxicone, depending on the size of the cone molecule, they could coat the hair and they could end up feeling good in the beginning, but it would dry it out long term because they weren't water soluble. That was then, this is now. Surface derives cones, whether it's siloxicone, whether it's dimethicone, from natural sources of sea sand and quartz. They become emollients, which are water soluble, but while in the hair, help hold moisture in. So with that, we take you into the new worlds of curl care. There's also 2 directions that we're going to take today. One is in caring for curls, whether you're embracing them and wearing them defined, or whether you're taking those curls and you are smoothing them. So to begin with, let's jump into the proper curl care. What we've done here is we've shampooed with our curl shampoo, as you would in the shower. Then here, because we were working with a very tight kinky curl, we chose to use Masque as you would in the shower. If you're working with a curl that wouldn't need as much moisture, you could use the curls conditioner, but every 5 shampoos, you could still use the Masque. Key point, in the shower, the Masque is applied to hair that tends to have more tangles to their curl. and then take it, squeeze the mask in the hair, leave the curls mask for your 60 seconds, and then comb it through right in the shower. That's on your extreme bases. Please never ruffle dry your curls. We haven't here. What we've done is we've just squeezed the moisture out. Now, you know what it can look like underneath? Yes. Please, at this point, we do not begin combing the curls whatsoever. That's when we use the Curl Whip. The Curl Whip is a leave-in conditioner, and we apply small amounts throughout the hair, squeezing it from the ends up. The reason that Curl Whip is a foam is to maintain a very, very, very light weight. And as we squeeze it, we can actually feel that moisture go into the hair. Very small amounts, working my way all the way around. Now, as I work my way around and squeeze this in, I would have an option too at this point of going ahead and using the curls mask, squeezing it in, and even doing a treatment, doing a bake. I won't be going into the details of a bake in this training experience. However, look at our university online and see the bake right from the start to the finish. A tremendous in-salon treatment for your curly guests. Now, having squeezed it through, and our hair here is extremely kinky, meaning it's very thirsty. The structural blonde has an extreme stretch on it, really opening it up. So right now, even before I go to comb and detangle through, I'll use a little bit of high impact moisture, which is the serum. I'll take a little bit of the serum, and especially if there's any real frizzy areas, I'll work it over the top. So let's take the serum again, a little on each side. And you can see that's just a very nice moisturizing oil is what that serum is. If I have baby fine curly hair, I may choose to use basu oil, which is a little lighter. But for medium to coarse curls, please use the serum. Now, after we've squeezed it in, now it's time to detangle. So at this point, I'm going to use the Surface Curls Comb. We'll start on their ends and we'll work our way up. So let's take a look at how nice this can comb through now. So as I'm combing through, I'm separating the curls, very little tension that's on them. And if I do find a knot anywhere whatsoever, I'll make sure I gently take a little bit of serum and go back over top of that area. So taking that line through, very gently combing those curls all out. You'll see when we go to embrace the curls, we'll squeeze the curl pattern back in. But before we begin either air drying or diffusing, which we'll go through today, I want to make sure that those curls have been completely smoothed through. I will not let any of the tangles dry into that hair. So we come through and just continue to work your way up. I think the most impressive thing is I'm not having hair in my comb. I'm not having hair break off out because I went and I was strengthening that first. So let's work our way very gently through our curls. And then at this point, let's embrace them. So we'll take them and we'll set them through. And I'll take you through the steps that we set this tighter curl in, as well as the steps that we can use the looser curl in. Now, first option, let's say that my guest here is trying to grow her curls longer. The actual cuticle on tight, kinky hair may be only 3 layers to a maximum of 5. So when those curls hit the shoulder, they begin to wear away. It's friction. It's like wearing the same sweater every day for 365 days. You're going to wear the elbows out. So at this point, what I would do is I would take my one shot, which is the maximum of the amaranth protein, and right through my ends, wherever I'm trying to grow that hair longer, I work my one shot. I then take the top, I put it back on for my next time around. So having taken that, squeezing that one shot in. Now, let's say we're going to define our curls. In defining the curls, the first thing I'm going to do is pick up the Frizz Free Spray Gel. Frizz Free is concentration of glycoproteins and sugars that wrap the actual hair shaft in defining the curl, or you'll see afterwards, I also use it if I'm smoothing the curls. So now let's come in, mist the Frizz Free in. It has very little to no hold. It's entirely responsible now just for wrapping that hair to have it be frizz free. To have more hold and definition, I'll move to our firm mousse. Shake it well before its application, and you'll see it comes out in a very thick, rich gel foam. And the same thing as I did here, because now this has hold. We haven't really applied anything with hold yet. And we'll squeeze it from the ends up. The even distribution of your styling product is so important. Really focus on this one. Curly hair can also dry very fast in the porous areas. So if you get distracted whatsoever before you put your styling product on, and the hair is too dry, the ends may sop up more of your mousse and styling product. So make sure the moisture is even in the hair, and then you evenly distribute your styling product. So working it from ends up. Now, here's a hot tip, depending how much time you have at home or in the salon. If you have time at home, I suggest allowing the hair to air dry as much as you can before you pick up your diffuser. Sometimes time doesn't allow that. This is a must, as was the curls comb. This is a curls rake for every curly girl. I want lift at the root. So I want to make sure I don't disturb that curl pattern now. I'm going to lift that base up. And remember that friction disturbs the curl and can equal frizz. So I've got my shape just the way I want it. I can let it air dry some. And then if I want to, and I will finish, if I want more of a defined curl, I'm going to finish diffused. Especially if I'm a curly girl that's got a looser wave like this, I really need to define that hair, and I need to be able to diffuse the base. So let's go to a little bit of an example here of what I can use at this point, and it's what we did in finishing here. I want you to think of the curl now, and this curl looks a little lazy, doesn't it? I think it looks pretty cool, but if I need to enforce it more, and I did here, I'll go outside of the curls, and I'm going to go into surface styling, and this is swirl. So if I have a curl that's a little lazier, I'll take the swirl and I mist it onto the damp hair after I put on the Curl Whip leave-in conditioner mousse and before I style. So at that point, what it's going to do is it helps crispen that curl up. Now for diffusing. When I diffuse, I have to use gravity as my friend. Otherwise, my root lays down. So as I diffuse, I'll take the head, turn it to the side, and get the gravity off of the hair. I will use a low speed and a high heat on my dryer. When the hair is almost dry, I'll turn my heat down to cool to help set that in. Here's another really important hot tip in setting that curl definition. And that is the curls finishing spray. When the hair is still damp, I'll mist the finishing spray in and I'll finalize that curl. And as soon as anybody smells the spray, they go, oh, that smells amazing. Remember to remind them what they're smelling is certified organic cocoa butter, and it's the vitamin K that's helping strengthen that bond. Now, you have to commit. When I'm doing my final touches on the hair, and it's a little bit damp, and I go, oh, I'll just let it dry the rest of the way on its own. Here's the challenge, is what happens is as it dries the rest of the way on its own, it pulls the root area down. So you really want to make sure that you finished it all the way. And when it is finished and dry, you take the curls finishing spray and we mist it through again. Now, after I'm done misting it through, I may want to define it a little bit more. I may want a little bit of separation with it. At that point, that's when I'm going to go to the curls cream wax. The curls cream wax comes onto my hand. I'm going to heat it up lightly, and that's when I'll go in and I'll define any of those curls. Remember, I'm not going to brush them. I'm not going to pick them. I'm simply going to define them. And I prefer to never do that with a dry hand. That's where my wax gives me that beautiful separation. The cream wax also adds some nice moisture to the hair. You can see them really nicely defined. So whether I'm working on very tight curly hair or kinky, whether I'm working on loose hair, I'm going to go in and define them. And it's a regime. Now, at this point, I know many people would say, well, which one do I need to use the most? I suggest, as a stylist, you recommend to your guest the complete regime. And let them know when their beauty budget affords it, they can move into additional products. Because if I want this look, I need everything I've used right now. The best way to begin to get into your curls is what? Your box set. It's your shampoo, your conditioner, and your leave-in curl whip. So that might be recommendation number 1. Then recommendation number 2 for sure has got to go to what? Got to go to the Frizz Free Spray Gel. Now, whether I'm a loose curl or I'm a tight curl, here comes another element of recommendation. Daily moisture. Because what happens is that structural bond tends to want to reform. And the hair needs additional moisture and that vitamin K. So every single day in between, yes, you can last in between shampoos on day 2, day 3, day 4. We take just a little bit of the serum and we refresh the curls in the morning. So I'm just lightly squeezing it into the hair, and we're moisturizing those curls every morning. So now, do I need this? Yes, if I want to moisturize the curls. But there's something else that's happening at this point. By moisturizing that curl and reducing the frizz, I'm helping my hair color last longer because it doesn't have the raised cuticle, as you would call the frizz, to be able to escape. So at this point, we see that the regime now, for definition, I want the curls for a mousse. To set the curl, I need the spray. We need to respect all of the guests' beauty budgets out there, but the plan is to be able to become into the complete regime so that your curls are absolutely perfect. Now, one of the other things that may be new to many curly girls out there is hairspray. And I've been blessed to be married to a curly girl now for 42 years. And when we first started dating, even in the years before that, this girl had the most beautiful curly hair, but boy, could it become frizzy. Yes, tell secrets out of school, she was the curly girl that would even try and sleep with a bathing cap on to collapse those curls. So there was many years that Deborah would say to me, don't touch my hair, I just did it. Because you know, friction is frizz. The challenge was in those other years, hairsprays and styling products had plastics and they would hold the curl together. So yes, if I reached over and I touched her beautiful curls, what would happen is the plastics that were holding curls together would pull apart and there's extra frizz. So being motivated by my lovely wife, when we did curls, they're plastic free. One of the key ingredients is the sugar proteins, the glycoproteins that not only work inside the hair, but the sugar fibers that hold the hair. So as you see, the Surface Curls hairspray has no plastic, so they don't stick the hair together. They give it beautiful style memory. Now, in identifying those elements, there's another thing we need to touch base on is, what about when you wake up in the morning and you may have a lazier curl? And it's the curl that you slept on, it may have drooped. Oh, hot tip coming to you. You got long hair, you really want to embrace the curls. Before you go to bed at night, you can very loosely take a ponytail on top of the head and use a scrunchie to put it up with it. You'll find in using Surface Curl styling product, it's not really that necessary, but it does protect longer curls that much more. When you wake up in the morning, you re-moisturize them with your serum, but what if you need to touch that curl up just a little bit? Well, let's say that, I'm just going to grab one here, it does look good. Let's say that this area was looking just a little bit lazy. What I can do is I will rake it through. I will take the curl spray and I use it as a curling thermal and setting styler. So now I can curl right over the top to enhance that. You can see that it is no stick whatsoever because there's no plastics. Drop that beautiful ringlet out. Please let it cool before you touch it. So before I touch this now, on my second day, third day, fourth day defining, just a little bit more cream wax into my hand. Take the area that may have gotten a little lazy. Yes, it's cool. And separate it gently to embrace that curl again. Now, and I've joked with this throughout the world, but it's so true. Do one of these. Anybody see a magic wand? No. If I want these beautiful curls to embrace, I need the products that have been formulated specifically to do that. And at Surface, we're committed to providing the products that completely respect personal health and the earth. Now, what about if I was moving into taking my curls smooth? The care stays the same. Please note that. It's my curl shampoo, my conditioner, my mask, my serum, my leave-in. But if I want to go smooth, at this time here to take curls and blow dry them smooth, there is only one go-to product. So we stay the same, but at the point after we've applied the serum, before we go to the mousse, we go to the smoothing cream. And I stress it again, I know I've said it many times, but please bear with me. When I'm smoothing, the frizz-free spray gel is just as important as it was when I was curling. So the frizz-free spray gel is on, and then is my smoothing cream. The smoothing cream has a high concentration of the vitamin K to be able to speed the smoothing, and it also has tourmaline. Tourmaline is a mineral that reacts with heat to help tighten the cuticle down. As you know, many people with curly hair, when you begin to blow dry, even going smooth, what does the hair do? Bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We want to be able to collapse that hair down. So by using the tourmaline, it tightens the cuticle and it helps a nice smooth blow dry. Now, what if I also then want to come in and use a little bit of curling iron or flat iron on it? So here's one thing that I saved for you. Because remember, we set the curls earlier. With the curl spray. And now what we're going to do is use that same curl spray as a thermal protectant for my flat iron. And as you can see, it becomes a one-pass smoothing. When you do see any of the steam come off, that's actually taking the protein and being able to weld it into the hair. So we'll take another section, we'll move up here. Now, I'm taking a very large section just to be able to respect the time that you've graciously given us a surface here. And the density of the hair would depend on how thick of a section that you would take. You can see the shine, you can see the protection that we get onto that hair, and we comb it across. Now, before I touch it again, I'm going to let the hair cool. And now, with our smooth area dry, I'll take just a little bit of the serum, take that curl serum over the top, and come in and finish my smoothing line. At this point, it's controlled and it's nice and shiny. One other hot tip on glamorizing curls. Whether I have a very, very tight curl or a looser curl, I'm going to go into the surface styling products again. And my very favorite Glamour product is the Taffy wax. So what this is the Japanese wax tree. And you'll see when it comes out, the light white fiber of the wax. But as soon as I squeeze it, it melts into the curls. So as it melts into the curls, you can just see the shine glamorize the curls. The heat of my hand melts it. And those thirsty curls even have now a little bit of extra moisture. Let's take a look at how we can glamorize that looser curl. We'll take that curl, we'll lightly mist again. And then the heat of our hands melts that wax fiber into the hair. Oh my goodness, is that absolutely gorgeous or what? And that's the Taffy spray wax. Squeezing that in, melting it into the hair, melting that into beautiful Glamour curls. The other surface product that's an absolute must for curly girls is the Trinity Dry Shampoo. Now, there's two things I want you to identify as when you first do your curls in the salon or at home. An enemy is moisture and perspiration is moisture. So on day one, if you're on a high humidity day, make sure that after you're done, you've misted your scalp with the Trinity Dry Shampoo. Why? Because when you begin to perspire, the Trinity Dry Shampoo will eliminate the moisture from it, as well as your in-between days to refreshen the scalp, and it also provides some extra UV protection. My name is Wayne Grund, founder of Surface. I hope you've enjoyed the experience we've had today with Surface Curls. From caring from the curls, to being able to style the curls with definition, embracing them, to styling them smooth. We care for your curls from the inside out to be able to defrizz those. Please join us for the detailed slide-by-slide presentation of the sciences behind the curls products. And I challenge you as a stylist to become curl certified and attend one of our hands-on cutting curls classes.